Got ourselves team with a couple of Shamans with Amarok on this team as well as Hawkins. Hawkins actually finally get a chance to play some Enhancement. It's going to be Madara first up. Immediately stuns the guys. He goes in for a quick knock. Just kind of waiting with a Haunt. Oh, a second time in a row we've seen a Haunt disrupted as Madara just cannot really respond super quickly. It's going to be full blasters by Hawkins, but Drethan does not really even give him a chance. He immediately steps on the guy. Drethan, hi. Next time, I'm not gonna say you did anything wrong here, but next time, could you wait inside of like the team arena area until the Demon Hunter is dead and then run at Hawkins? Because Hawkins just kind of having to go from one to the next. Immediately trying to see if he can survive this though. He's got Ascendance. He's got himself defenses. Used him really early. Drethan does have a full death mark on the guy, but does he have any damage to follow up though? Hawkins keeping himself barely afloat, but keeping himself afloat with the root into Drethan. The rogue only has so many escapes. Blind is available if he wants to use it. Hawkins trying to see if he can pressure the rogue. Dex get a shot could be very deadly. Hawkins looking to catch up as much heal as he can. Got himself lasso. Trinkets for trinkets. Blind to follow. Drethan still dotted with raptors as well as the earth elemental chasing him. He's not gonna be able to get himself easy stealth. He needs his way out of this situation. Gouge maybe. Flame Shark is back up for Hawkins, just walking in, looking for those storm strikes, and does end up picking up the damage. Well done. I love that lasso by Hawkins, and the man just playing out Enhancement. Not a popular, generally, well, I think at the beginning of the season actually started as a very popular choice, at least for PvE content it did, but Enhancement Shamans, we don't see him nearly as much in duels at least. Hawkins trying to see if he can fight through Merlin. That is going to be Merlin, rooted, Hand of Freedom is out. Hawkins needs the defensive here, otherwise I don't know if you could survive a full crusade. This man got plenty of damage. Sunder, but it looks like it didn't connect properly. Blind, I think, was out for Merlin. Does end up bubbling this out. Hawkins needs some kind of an escape. He got himself at least a little bit of healing. He can't really get himself too much Maelstrom. Looks like no interrupt for Merlin. He's just not going to kick Hawkins at all though. But he knows that Hawkins is not really getting that much healing out of those like non-Maelstrom casted heals. Hawkins still able to get himself a little bit of healing. Barely. Rude onto Merlin. Got himself one more hit. Oh! It was only a matter of time until he was going to be able to take you. With Harry up next. Harry, you see ya. Harry up next. I wonder who this Archamage could be. It's an Archamage over on the region of an A. Could be anybody. It's your boy, you know it is, dude. You know, this big shield for Merlin as he just got blasted, but Harry not gonna give him a chance at all. Got himself a bit of that shifting power, looking for a cooldowns. I love the Mog. He even got the stab too. I like how it's just like a wheel, but it's actually kind of cool looking. Even the staff, it's actually not bad looking. Honestly, I thought like the rapier, the what is it, the axes, I even like the saber, the three-handed saber. It felt like they put a lot of work into those items, but even the staff doesn't look bad at all. Hand of Freedom, oh no, Hand of Freedom, what am I talking about? Ring of Peace. Why am I confusing those two? Lasso onto Harry for just a second. This is going to be Cordig trying to see if he can escape. He is playing Elemental. Harry playing that Arcane. Both of them got plenty of range. Touching the Magi is up. Is going to get him interrupted on fire, but gives Harry an opportunity to go full-on blasting Arcane damage missiles for days. As Cordig trying to mitigate the damage of the Touch of the Magi by creating some space between the two, knocking Harry out in the open. I think that's one of the advantages he has, is the fact that he can go for those minion knocks. Breath though, Root, Freeze. Ooh, Arcanosphere! I haven't seen that thing in a long while. This guy, dude, wait, hold on. That's the Arcanosphere from Plunder. This man is literally taking abilities out of Plunder. What are the chances they're going to make that ability an empowerment ability? I feel like it basically is, though, right? It basically is, except you just press it twice. You know what I mean? They could totally make that empowerment ability. Big Elite Blast for Cordic. Doesn't have too much damage. We're trying to see if he can get himself a follow-up, but the follow-up right now, big time, is for Harry. Does get knocked way out back. There's going to be more missiles. Repositioned back to Cordic. There's going to be a wall interrupt thermal nature. Cordic had no help whatsoever. Trying to see if he can catch up. He's got himself Guardian. There's going to be Totem being taken down immediately by the Mage. Yet another barrage. The man needs someone right now to escape, but the missiles are just going to drill right through the guy. Little by little. Death Sweep trying to give my boy as much of a chance here as he's sitting down for food, trying to catch up on heals. Got himself a drink coming back up very soon. Will have a human racial to break out of a stun, so if anything, he's got himself the big escape, unless he's trying to get out of a prison or something. Ice Block is also available. So he's got himself everything. Poly onto Death Sweep with a full-on leap metamorphosis, immuning any damage out of the mage. He's going to try to see if he can back up over there with a hunt right after. Harry could be looking at an Ice Block here potentially. Trying to go for a kick, does not connect. Harry just trying to stay super hyper aggressive. Might be looking for a block here. Oh, there goes the block. There goes the block. For Death Sweep, he's got himself plenty of health here. He's trying to see if he can recover as much health as possible. And right now, the 5 minutes in the duel, 25% dampener. Harry needs to make himself a hell of a play. Breath onto Death Sweep. He needs to get some CC. Poly, Trinket immediately. Try to go for yet another Poly. That's going to be an interrupt into Ring of Frost. Does not get to connect. Trinket right after. That's going to be that stun. No wilds for this one. I think it's just over, right? Once you blink and the stuns are in, there's nothing you can do. I think he played really well, though. Honestly, I think he did such a good job. But Chill Pill's going to be up next as Unholy, trying to see if he can maybe roll on over Death Sweep, summoning up the entire army. Death Sweep with the darkness, trying to mitigate some of the damage he's taken. Still massive Apocalypse, cleaves right through, stun right after, surrounded by all the best. They're barely able to reach him while he was a little bit up in the air. And this is just an opportunity for him to claw him from a distance. Nothing he can do. Once he gets surrounded, once he gets slowed, nothing he can do. He's got my altar. Did he actually? That's crazy. We got ourselves certified over for the team one. Hockey on this team as well. I do like the smog though. You got the Tapper too? Yo, this is Sense Smog, isn't it? Gotta be. I mean, it's just iconic, man. Iconic. Although it looks good too. Like overall, the whole set. God, it looks so good. We got Haste over here. We got ourselves Merlin as well. With Bad Bunny over for the team too. We got ourselves RSK as well as Shad. I like it. The weapon kind of sort of matches. I wish it was more like a sentinel weapon somewhere in that as well as Chicago over on the enhancement Shamans. When playing the heroism, interesting. High history versus Chicago immediately off the bat. I like the mount you got going on. Stun immediately by Haitian. Doesn't even want to give Chicago a proper honorable duel. He's just going in immediately. And Chicago's sending out the Primordial right after. If you could close the gap, trying to avoid the cascade of void bolts in every direction. Looks like the bolts don't actually go down onto the floor. They'll just kind of hit the corner, hit the ram, hit the parts of the bridge. But for the most part, not really going to go more free flowing like that. Big burst on Asia, immediate disperse out of the guy. He's just going to go for a quick cancel. Fear, Chicago does have a pre-tremor available, which is so good. Is able to counteract the CC. As is going to be more DPs out of Haitian, able to get himself the big sanity on Chicago, breaking out of that route really quickly with a full bloodlust ready to go. Massive haste buff. Haitian does get himself the ages just to get himself a little bit more survivability as his does dip in kind of low. Dark Ascension to follow. Quick stun on Chicago, Trinkets out of it, and Haitian trying to maximize the damage. Chicago catching a quick heal or two, leaping right in. As long as he can interrupt him on Shadow, I think it'll be golden. Quick Fear to follow. Haitian doesn't get himself a decent setup. Silence up Chicago right after. Chicago is CC'd for a bit, but for the most part, not really feeling super pressured. Trinket out of Haitian out of the last of them, just keeps up moving. And Chicago got plenty of defensive, does not get to knock Haitian. I think might have been a fade there in the last second. But Chicago got plenty of stuff to work with. For Haster, he's a little bit behind on cooldowns, but I think he's got plenty of pressure, plenty of damage. If he can land one quick little CC on Chicago, he might actually be able to turn this around big time. Big Fear, that's a lot of tentacles attacking Chicago all at once. Quite a bit of that passive additional damage, and Haster goes in for a bit of a reset on the far side of the pillar. Quick stun onto Chicago, as the got still plenty to work with, but I don't think they want to send anything just yet. Haitian got himself quite a bit of damage though with a full Dark Ascent, but with the root is gonna stop him in play for just a second. The Ogre's yelling at the two to just get into a fight as soon as possible. They're not even hiding. I mean, they're kind of behind the pillar, but they're out in the open more or less. Disperse out of Haitian really early here. That is super unfortunate. But Chicago looking for a bit of an escape. Wall, Guardian Seal, everything available. And Haitian looks like he's going to create some space. Chicago leaping in Sunder immediately. Does he have enough damage? Does he have enough potential here? Haitian just trying to create some space a little bit here. Shadow crushes Chicago. Big Bloodlust. Interrupt on Shadow. Looking for a quick heal. That's going to be the Aegis Procket as well. If Haitian gets super low, he does get himself a little bit of that execute healing. Or I guess escape healing, trying to go for big burst into Sun on Chicago. One of those horrified bolts does connect. Big Void Torrent to follow. Chicago got maybe a bit of damage here. Fear on Chicago. Not a lot of health available for Haster. Silence on Chicago. Maybe a slow on Chicago long enough to get away potentially. Last to follow. I think it might be over Haster. He got himself maybe a big heal. One emergency heal, but that's about it. Frost Shocks to follow Chicago, taking these boys out one after another, but that's going to be priest to priest, with Certified going to be up next, following the haste shield for Chicago. Still has Wall, still has Guardian. Question is, do you play out the game and play out the Maelstrom, just going for self-healing while not necessarily investing anything into Certified? Or do you just sand cooldowns and just try to see if you can end this one as early as possible? That is the question here. That's going to be Vampiric Touch out of Certified. Big Zapper out of Chicago. Bloodlust and everything available. That's going to be a Void Turn. Trying to go for a big Eruption. Should be able to get a proper Eruption going. Big Yellow Blast right after. Last to follow. Trinket out of Certified. Bolts back to back. Hitting Chicago. Doing a number of damage. Root onto the pets as well as Certified. Able to port his pet a little bit with a Shadow Word Deaths. But Chicago is going to be able to catch a bit of a reset behind the pillar. That is just a ton of damage getting taken. But as long as you can avoid majority of this Void Eruption and Void form, you will mostly be fine, I think. Stun around the corner for Certified. It's an opportunity to keep the pressure rolling just a little bit longer. As long as you get some dots in Chicago, I think you'll be fine. Trying to go for a fear. No Tremor for this one. Trinkets out of it just to get a kick. Certified could be in a decent spot, maybe. Is getting Chicago kind of low. Mind Games is going to be able to be a big turnaround. Chicago with a Guardian just to fight through Mind Games as soon as possible, just to break past the effect and start to heal himself and focusing on the aggression versus Certified. Next kick could be massive. Lasso as he goes in for a disperse, but Chicago going to actually end up breaking out of it really quickly. I'm actually surprised. I thought maybe Lasso, like you would just last it out the entire time. Trying to go for Hex just to CC him a little bit. I think it's Chicago's going to try to maybe do no Trinket available, no Guardian available. Might just have to play it super slow without any CD usage here for a bit as a Fear comes out for Cert. Got himself a bit of damage. Elo Blast getting hit right in the face. Bloodlust is available for Chicago for a second there. Silence onto the Shaman, and Cert I think does go down. Chicago does end up escaping out of this duel. Victorious with a wall still available with either Merlin or Hockey going to be up next. Merlin trying to give as much of an auto duel as possible. I like this Mog, by the way, man. I don't see a lot of Paladins running this like Tiger armor look, but I love it. I think it looks great. Chicago might be under a ton of trouble here. That's full Crusade, everything available. Looking for a knock-up. Merlin getting hit with a stun. That's going to be a immediate bubble. And Chicago does have a wall for this one, trying to avoid Merlin as best as possible. If you can avoid a lot of this Crusade as well as bubble, I think you might just be able to come out on top here either way, as they do try to bail out of there for just a second. Got himself the Dragon Rachel too, so the earlier you use that, I think the better it's going to be for self-healing. Because 26% dampening is definitely going to make that healing less and less valuable over time. Maybe 30% is when they'll still have some relative value, 35-ish. But any below 40 is going to be less and less effective. Mad Blast by Chicago! Just caught an Ellie Blast out of nowhere! Okay, Hawk is last one left with a big one banger go versus Chicago, trying to give him as much of an honorable duel as possible. For Chicago, it's really going to come down to trying to find a way to avoid Deathmark. I don't think you can. Only way you could do that is maybe if you had if you were Dwarf. That's about the only way you could do it. Dark Iron on the normal Dwarf or whatever. But yeah, that's going to be, I think, maybe, unless you can somehow just knock Hawkins and keep him away whenever he does go in for a death mark. Unless he just goes in right now and full go. Gotta watch it for you dance. It's gonna be Sepsis. A bit of damage on Chicago. Full set of dots on Chicago. Got himself wall. Might need to go for Guardian immediately. Does go for Guardian. Generational needs to come into play right now. Hawkins just looking for a bit of reset. Chicago needs as much Maelstrom as possible. Got Raptors. That's going to be Trinket out of Hawkins out of the stun. Bloodlust for Chicago. Fighting through it. Got plenty of healing. Hawkins still has a cloak. Disarmor to Chicago. Needs Maelstrom right now. Doesn't have much. That's going to be Hawkins taking you. Unless you got just fueled full of Maelstrom, there isn't much you can really do about it. And Hawkins does get leg swept. DR fully. Blancho RSK is going to roll off the side. Cloak is available. Evasion available for Hawkins. He's just going to send both of them. Hawkins needs enough breathing time until they can get a dance. And I don't think he's going to be able to get one unless maybe stun. Shadow Step. I think if you stun him and then walk away, maybe you'll be okay. Trying to get some dots as well as a shiv onto RSK. Yeah, that's about all he can do. I think he just might be dead though. I think it's the one that just kills ya. Unless Sippy Cup. Hold on. The one is gone. Sippy Up stealth, that's gonna be Gouge. Hold on a second. If you catch yourself a re-stealth, you're good. I actually caught a re-stealth. Oh, he's good. No trinket available for RSK either. See, if you got yourself dance, which you have right now, I think it could be over. If he doesn't have if he has a stun, I think it's over for RSK. Actually, no. I feel like if RSK karmas this and turns it around, it still could be really, really bad for Hawkins. But if he has a proper like stun, maybe a cheap shot, kidney shot, full set of dots ready to go, And then you can escape, let him just rot. Maybe? Cheap Shot is trying to see if he can make a play. Next leg sweep is going to be deadly. He got leg sweep too. Full dots are in. RSK might be in a lot of trouble. Hockey's with cold blood. RSK trying to live it. Big kicks to follow. That's going to be a leg sweep right after. RSK, touch of death. Okay. Chicago does catch 3 though. I guess double Priest. Yeah, Priest versus Shaman is only so much you could really do there.